Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Raw review and opinions video. So, want to get to your thoughts, of course. Show-wise, I'm thinking this is like a 6-7-5. I don't think this was a disaster. It certainly was not as good as last week. I think that what this was the show settling down into a groove, the kind of groove that we can settle into every Monday. And we got a little glimpse, I think, of what the future is going to look like for Raw. I think that Bron, Seth, Heyman are going to be cornerstones. I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of open the show, close the show. They're kind of getting that bloodline treatment. Roman used to open the show, used to kind of be part of the end of the show. And then we would kind of visit them throughout the show. And we did that here. Obviously not as much as what we would do with the bloodline. We don't have as many people involved yet. But what we did get is like Heyman backstage with Sami. And that was very interesting because, of course, they were both in the bloodline. And that was very interesting. So this show revolved around Seth and Sami's relationship. We can obviously dig into other people's relationships. We need to dig into Paul and Bron, Bron and Seth, Seth and Paul. Like, all of that needs to be fleshed out. And a lot of people want to see someone else join this group. Like a third person. I don't think we're doing that yet, but that's something else that we need to get to, right? I'm guessing we will get to that. So you can sort of see the vision as to what Raw is going to be like. We've brought up some new women, Roxanne, Julia. They seem to be main roster now, and that obviously is going to strengthen an already impressive women's division. I do think there's some people taking some time off at the moment. Obviously, we know Gunther has requested a little bit of time off following WrestleMania. Same with Cody. Bianca needs to have some time off. Bayley, I'm guessing, is just taking a little bit of time at the moment, whether she wants to or not. She's obviously selling that injury. We found out that Becky was the one that had attacked her on this show, and I actually thought the promo exchange between Becky and Lyra was quite good. I didn't mind that at all. I thought that Lyra kind of came out a little bit too goody two-shoes, but she did get better as the promo went on. And when she interrupted Becky, I really enjoyed that part of it. And her saying, I'm a better wrestler than you. I know I'm a better person, but I'm going to prove I'm a better wrestler than you as well. Yeah, I don't mind that feud, honestly. I just think the disappointing thing largely comes to the in-ring. I think if the matches themselves were better, I do feel a little bit sorry for Ivy and Stephanie because that got good 95% by our community. But I just think it's like, I don't know, there wasn't really much build there. The match was really good. Maybe the ending, I don't like Stephanie's finisher. That like backbreaker move where she kind of gets them into this package, picks them up and then puts them on, and it just looks a little awkward. It doesn't look like a good finisher to me. I think she needs something a lot more exciting than... It's not an exciting finisher, that. So, I sort of don't like her finisher. There wasn't really much kind of build here or heat between these two. The match they put on, I thought, was entertaining, but you lot said was good 95. It didn't quite get there for you. I think that Roxanne and Rhea, they obviously have got a bit more of a background, and that got good 97. I think if that had had a proper finish, rather than Julia interrupting, if that had had a proper finish, we might have got into the great range with that. But unfortunately, good 97 for Rhea Roxanne. Judgment Day War Raiders, you said, was good 95. Ivy against Stephanie, good 95. And Bron against Sami, good 92. So really, in-ring, not quite there. Maybe a little lack of star power with no, Bayley or Cody or CM Punk or Roman. Obviously no John Cena. But maybe a little bit of star power. Match-wise, nothing really standing out. But the women doing a good job. The Sami stuff and everything was really good. The Pat stuff, as everyone knows, if you watch the watch-along, was not for me. This was a "Aren't I Amazing" speech. I'm always going to stand up for my friend. I don't know about you, but I always find it really uncomfortable when people gloat about the charity work that they do as well. Like, I don't know, him talking about when I die and all this kind of stuff. I want people to say this about me and that about me. It's like, I mean, this is a scripted show. It's a scripted show. Gunther went off on the commentators, and so now Pat's got this opportunity to basically hijack Raw to tell us how good he is, right? And so I was obviously not buying that. I obviously feel very different about that. And it set up a match where ideally I would like someone else to be having a match with Gunther. I mean, obviously I expect Gunther to win. I don't expect the nightmare scenario of the commentator to flip him, beat Gunther, the former world champion. But, well, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know anymore. That's certainly not something that I am interested in at all. That was a real low point for me. My score obviously went down as a result of that. But there was enough here to kind of keep the score positive. And we had a good conversation after the watch-along as to kind of getting a vibe as to where other people were. So I feel like we're kind of all around the same ballpark. I've only just put the poll up, so I don't really have much in the way of a kind of result to bring you. 15 votes so far, and actually good is winning, but obviously still very early. So bad 7%, good 53%, great 40%, all-time 0%, but that's only out of 15 votes. So, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think this was a great show. I would be clicking on good as well, I think so. I'm not down on good winning. But I suppose the bigger question is this good enough? Because this really could be the standard of Raw over the summer. This really could be. And there will obviously be better shows and worse shows. But yeah, this could really be a glimpse of what Raw is going to be like. Maybe it gets freshened up with the drafts. Maybe that helps. You know, perhaps we are in a little bit of a phase where the draft is coming, Backlash is coming. We're just sort of doing a few things till we get to those. But to be honest, I don't want to use that as an excuse. I think this is probably a bit of an indicator of what Raw is going to be like this year. So, interesting. Let's get into people's comments, see what they have got to say. And, maybe we'll get some scores in here as well. So, Wrestling Bambino said, I don't mind this week's Raw. I wasn't a huge fan. Nothing made me stop what I was doing and say, wow. So I would go 6.5. It was good, not great. Storyline progress, and it set up Backlash, at least. Michael said, who deciphered the glitch on the LED boards? I don't know that anyone's deciphered it. I don't know that there was any meaning to it, to be honest with you. I don't know that that means anything in relation to the Wyatt Six, because I don't see them coming for Logan Paul. And I don't know, there's a few people that have kind of had a little look to see if they can find things that are in there. But at the moment, I'm struggling to really believe that it's even connected. It's so hard to know if this was a message or not, you know? We kind of spoke about it during the watch-along, and there was plenty of people saying there's nothing to this. And at the moment, I'm sort of leaning that way myself. So, yeah. We'll have to see. We'll see what gets found. I'm sure that there'll be some connections that are made in there. I'm sure there'll be some sort of bits in there that are kind of connected. But I don't see how this connects to Logan Paul, you know? And the rumors were that actually Wyatt Six were going to be going after Judgment Day, but they weren't there. They weren't involved. It was just Logan walking backstage, wasn't it? So, yeah, I'm kind of not getting too carried away. Oxy said it was fast-paced and it was lots of fun. I had a lot of respect for Pat calling out Gunther the way that he did. Muggsy said 725, a step down from last week. Jay versus Logan, no yeet. Oh, not a fan of that. I like Jay's promo. I thought Jay was really fired up. Roxanne versus Rhea was great, but we should have had a finish. Steph Ivy was a banger. They are tarnishing Gunther's aura. He tapped out, and now he's got to face Pat. Paul rubbing backs was my highlight. He did, didn't he? Bron Breaker's back at the start. Kind of like, calm down. It's going to be okay. Jay Omega said, I enjoyed the in-ring work tonight, and story progression in the matches was great. Main event segment was cinema. If I was Sami, I would have taken the offer. Just saying. This show, 775, says Jay. Brendan, shout out to you, buds. Brady said, so what does this mean for the women's tag team championships if Liv is going to film a film? What if Liv appears on SmackDown and then gets attacked by Alexa? We're building a story for Pat over returning the Wyatt Six. I mean, just on Pat, I mean, obviously I don't want to keep talking about that because everyone knows how I feel, so it's pointless, right? And I really, really do try to not talk about him. Because you don't want to hear it. I understand, right? And I don't want to talk about him, so understand that. But, yeah, it is frustrating that he gets a spot and that we are giving him TV time. And even if the Wyatt Six wouldn't have been in that position, Karrion might have. You know, Karrion Kross could have been that person, maybe. Or one of the other people that's blooming sat in catering. So, yeah, I think your point is valid. Mitchell said, it was a decent episode. Definitely more promo segment heavy. I think I'm going to go 6.5675. I enjoyed seeing Stephanie. We didn't really get any bangers. It felt heavily focused on Seth's group. I thought that Pat cut a solid promo. Johnny said, I enjoyed the show, but gonna settle with a 6 because of whatever the hell Pat was yapping about. Well, I mean, it's not just me, is it? Everyone is talking about... Like, is this the right thing to be doing? That does seem like a big talking point. I wonder how Logan is going to work with someone like Jay, whose strength isn't being a ring general. Who's going to call the shots in that match? It's got to be Jay. They're doing Jay dirty, says Johnny. It's got to be Jay. Las Vegas Matt said, one of the worst crowds for Raw, but in their defense, it was mostly segments and promos and very little wrestling. Stephanie looked good. I don't understand the current booking going on, though. EO teaming with Rhea, not damage control. Well, actually, that's a good point. There is no damage control because we don't have Asuka, we don't have Kairi, and I don't know what the current situation is with Dakota. Does anyone know she's injured again or something? I mean, if Dakota is around, then she should be there. But, yeah, it's a good point. I actually don't know what's happening with Dakota. Logan and Jay. Yeah, well, I think they're just trying to put someone the crowd hates with someone the crowd loves. Just trying to go old school. Listen, we want you to get behind Jay. And one of the ways that we can do that is by just getting you completely on his side so that Logan does not win this world title. And I think that's the strategy, is you're going to support Jay. We're going to make you support Jay. Because if you don't support Jay, you've got to support the Crypto Zoo guy, yeah? So I think that's the strategy there. And Gunther, Pats, so a 6, says Las Vegas Mats. Adam said, pretty good. I need Heyman to refer to Bron Breakker as Bron Breakker at least once. Oh, he may do. He may do. Isaac said Gunther needs to destroy Pats. Carl said it was decent. Roxanne versus Rhea was great. Stephanie versus Ivy was awesome. Great showing for Ivy. Stephanie wins and 2 Devil's Kisses. Lyra promo was fire. Pat and Logan was horrific. Even worse that they're both, especially Pat, getting matches, making Gunther look dumb and unimportant again. The only hope, and I'm just going to try and throw some positivity out here, is that Gunther destroys Pat. And I say that because that might actually work for Pat as well. It might build up some sympathy for Pat. You know, one of the things that I've always said about celebrities is Speed came in at the Rumble and he got murked by Bron, and I was like, fair play, yeah? What if Pat is going to willing to do the same for Gunther? He's going to get murked by him, and that is going to get Gunther's momentum going again. Like, he's angry. He just wants to brutalize someone, choke them out, send them out. Kind of what he did to Jimmy, right? Kind of what he did to Jimmy, but he's going to do that in a match against someone. And if Pat wants to be stupid enough to feel that he can stand up to the World Heavyweight Champion, then maybe that's the play. If that match is even borderline competitive, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know. The only thing I can do is just sit back and just see how people react to that. Listen, he's got his fans. He's got his fans. You know, people are gonna defend him, and they're gonna, you know, he's got a big show. It's the reason why he's on WWE, right? You heard the reaction. Like, he's a popular guy. Again, the only reason why he's on WWE anyway is because of his fame, his popularity. So, I don't know. Sometimes we have to say things happen and they're just not for us. They're just not for the wrestling fans. They're for the casual fans. They're for the Pat fans. But let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's see if that happens. But perhaps the play is, or the plan is, that we're going to try and get Gunther's momentum back after having him tap out. Whether you can achieve that against the commentator, I have no idea, but, well, let's see. John Elite said Seth's glasses looked hilarious. I'm so invested in Seth's new faction. Please don't put the world title on Logan. I don't think they will. Love the Lyra and Becky segment, said John Elite. Guru said the crowds are loving all the bad guys, and I just don't know how to take that. Wanting Bron to destroy Sami is wild to me. Yeah, I don't like that either. I mean, this was not an IWC crowd. We were in Kansas. You know, I don't know. Yeah. The only thing I can think is that Seth's group is more compelling. Bron Breakker smashing people is more exciting than Sami and his heartfelt promos, you know? Sami being that guy, trying to dig deep, trying to be that underdog. It just seems like what's connecting more now is just, Bron's just a badass. And that just connects more. And, you know, Seth's a bigger star. And that song that people love singing, like that, just, he's a bigger star. And unfortunately, I think we live in a world where star power really does, you know, carry a lot of weight, of course. And maybe it's that. Seth's got more star power than Sami. Bron Breakker is a bigger badass. And Sami just found himself on the wrong end of the reactions, so... But yeah, I mean, as a Sami fan, obviously, I wish it was different. Gio the Theo said, I like Raw tonight. Obviously not as good as last week, but I mean, are we seriously going to do Pat Gunther? Gunther really went from performing at WrestleMania to being inserted in a feud with Pat. Beside that, I liked everything else. And I think we've covered it. I think we've ticked that box. I think it's hopefully, as we said, going to be a case that he brutalizes him. That will probably build some... If he did that, and I'm not just saying... I know people will be like, oh, you're only saying that because you hate Pat, right? But I really could see it being a case where people would be like, do you know what? Fair play. He just got smashed around there, so fair play to Pat. I could see that being said by people if he does get, you know, absolutely mauled by Gunther. And maybe Gunther doing that on that kind of a stage, and maybe doing that to Pat, which might get picked up by ESPN and, you know, sports news outlets. Like, maybe there is some method to the madness. But if that match becomes even remotely competitive, I just don't know. I just don't know. The only thing I could think then is that we're just trying to keep Pat sweet. You know, Pat said he wants to have a match, and so we're just trying to keep him sweet, to keep him around. But again, let's wait and see how it goes. Homer said, do you remember the faction? Blackheart, Anarchy, Rampage. What those names are they? The Blackheart, the Anarchy, Rampage. I don't know what they're going to call this group. I don't think we need to worry about it just yet. We might need to get another member in first. But well, let's wait and see. Kelly the Wise Lady said, I like Raw. Definitely not as good as last week, but we did get Stephanie again. We did. I won't comment on the Pat segment. We knew that we were going to get Pat Gunther. That's all I'll say. I appreciate that. I was hoping Sami would join Seth's tribe. Maybe later. Logan getting a title shot peeved me off. But again, we knew it would happen. I'm all for Becky's heel turn. She really spoke the truth. Bayley wronged so many people, and now we're just going to forget about it. We expect Becky to forget. Nah. I don't think Becky should win the belt right now. Lyra would greatly benefit from winning that match. We will just wait and see. All in all, not the best Raw, not the worst either. 7.5, and that's because my Dark Angel was there. By the way, someone from the community has ratted me out. I'm on a most wanted list now. They're going to try and send me back to prison, and I want to know who it was. Kelly, don't worry. This community will fight for your freedom. Unless they put on a lot of pressure, and then we'll just tell them where you live. So, one or the other. Howdy said Raw was a 7, but still, book the Wyatt 6. Mark said it was always going to be hard to top last week, which it didn't. Great to see the NXT women on the main roster keeping things fresh. Pat's promo went on way too long. Thumbs were firmly in the middle. Mark, shout out to you, buds. Hope you're doing well. Vurix said it was good, nothing crazy. Some really good promos from Becky, Lyra, Sami, even Pat. I'm fine with Jay Logan. Logan is the only heel right now that isn't busy with other wrestlers, so it's a good feud for Jay. Logan will carry Jay to a solid match. Love seeing the NXT ladies tonight, said Vurix. Parkative Time said, Daze, how are you? Raw was good. I enjoyed the Stephanie match and the stuff with Rox and Julia and Rhea and the main event segments. I really hope Ethan Page joins Seth and Bron. I think it would be good. Thoughts? I'd have no problem with Ethan joining that group. There would need to be a bit of introducing him because I think a lot of the main roster crowd wouldn't know who he was. But he fits the dynamic of that group very well. You see Bron in a suit and Heyman in a suit. I could see Ethan in a suit standing behind Seth and Seth being the outlandish kind of front guy. I can sort of see that working, but you can't make Seth look as stupid as he looked wearing those glasses. Those glasses were a distraction. And he looked stupid, he looked goofy, and I don't think Heyman should be associated with that. Heyman has been associated with a badass, one of the biggest badasses we've ever had in Brock Lesnar. Then, you know, the legacy, the tradition, the Ula Fala, Roman Reigns. And now he's associated with Seth, who's been a goof. Like, it doesn't add up. So, yeah, I don't mind Ethan joining that group. I think he, you know, in a suit would look quite good, quite classy. But we gotta just tweak that Seth character a little bit. Angie said it was good. Not as good as last week, but still decent. I'm not looking forward to Jay Logan. I think part of me is afraid that Logan will get it. Jay has worked so damn hard. And I honestly don't think that would be fair. But I am partial because I hate Logan, says Angie. I understand your concerns, Angie. I really do. I don't think they're going to put the belt on Logan here, but sadly, I think he will get a world title at some point. The reason why I think that is because he's still, 28 or so? Like, he's still quite young. And I think it's really hard to just keep him away from those world titles. It's hard. I mean, Sami has been on the main roster since 2015, 2016. He's not won a world title, so I say it's hard. It's also possible, but I don't know. I think Logan's going to keep putting that pressure on, isn't he? The thing with Logan is that he can go. He doesn't need this. He can go, and I think they really like having his social media around. So if they've got to throw him a world title at some point to keep him sweet, I unfortunately don't know that won't happen. I don't think it happens here, though. Dean said, Raw was good. I like Sami never taking that deal, and I love what I saw from Seth and Bron, liking the team of Roxanne Julia, and I had a good stream, so I'll see you for NXT. See you for NXT, buds. Deadman Talking said, I'm so afraid Backlash is going to end as Logan as world champion and Gunther tapping out to Pat. They just can't do that. They can't do that, surely. Surely, yeah? Even this creative team has got more about it than that, surely. So, Deadman Talking, shout out to you. T-Mac says, what do you see? I spy a name. Okay. T-Mac, shout out to you. I'm not sold on it. I mean, I'm just not sold. Even that, I'm not sold. I don't know that it makes any sense. I don't know that this was a glitch. We've seen so many things like this in the past where there's glitches and people have wondered if it really means anything. So it's something to be aware of, but at this point I'm really not getting carried away with it. OG Tribal Chief said, genuinely don't see why Logan Paul gets these random matches. I don't think anyone's ever seen Logan Paul on the card and brought a ticket to see him or one of his matches. Very good wrestler, but it doesn't mean that he should be inserted in these spots. Chris said Daze 675 matches weren't great. Besides, Rhea Roxanne was good. Got to see Io do her thing again. Your boy Sami got killed. I think it'll get better for Seth as soon as he changes his silly song and maybe dresses a little bit less than a clown. Uncle Revel said Raw had great new stories and directions. No amazing matches, but were all good. Promos made this show for me. Seth and Sami flowed nicely. Becky Lyra was intense and personal. Jay and Logan is fresh and it will bang. Pat talking about how good he is for 10 minutes was a downer though. 725. I'm heartened by the fact that people did not fall for that speech. I am heartened by because the crowd were buying it. The live crowd were buying it. But then the live crowd did also sing Seth's song at the end. So, Uncle Rebel, shout out to you. It is weird hearing someone talk about how amazing they are for an extended period of time. Raymond said, Daze, I thought that Raw tonight was pretty good. Matches were very decent. And I enjoyed Raw a lot. I like seeing NXT superstars being called up to the main roster. And so I will rate Raw tonight a solid 8.5. See you for NXT, says Raymond. Raymond, shout out to you. Real Wrestling Fan gives it a 5. Said, no, Jay, Logan, no, Pat, Gunther. But the NXT women were great. And it was great to see JD McDonough. Yeah, JD, good to see him back, I agree. How long have we gone? We get a few more in here. Spiller said, Daze, I thought Raw was good. I definitely agree that Seth needs to lose that song. If they want him to have hated matches, we were good. Loving the new faction. Seth started. Definitely a reason to look forward to Raw every week. I'm going to give it a 7. Got you. So you want him to lose the song if he's going to be hated, but the matches were good. Loving the new faction. And Seth is a reason to look forward to. Yeah, I think that's the template. I think this faction's going to really do a lot of carrying, to be honest. Q Hicks says, 4 out of 10. I don't like Jay as champion, and I don't like Logan. That's a mid-card match at best. Judgment Day is dead. Bury that story. Sami's story is overused. I've got no interest. Bron is a beast. And that actually might be... You could have been in this crowd, to be honest, Q Hicks. I think that was kind of the crowd's reaction as well, with Sami obviously not getting the support and Bron being seen as the badass. Heyman always delivers. And contrary to your thoughts, I love Pat, says Q Hicks. Q Hicks, you really could have been in that crowd. That was you. Those were your people. Austin said 2 celeb matches. 1 pay-per-view is awful. Gunther should squash Pat. There's no way to get around it. And aside from that, Raw was pretty good. Sami was the MVP of the show. The promos from him and Sami were great. The little segment with him and Heyman was amazing. I rate it 7.5. Callum said, decent episode. Nothing blew my mind. Seth, Bron, Heyman stuff was entertaining. Roxanne versus Rhea was enjoyable. Pat Gunther, not bothered, to be honest. Not sure where I was looking for. I'd rather see someone step in for Pat. Becky, Lyra stuff was decent. I was impressed with Lyra. 7.5, says Callum. Yankees fan says, loved it. Matthew said, I thought Raw was okay. Not the best. Highlight of me was Pat's promo, and he was fire on the mic, says Matthew. El Patata said, overall, it was great. 30 seconds of carrion is disappointing. I hate how just because Lyra is in a feud with Becky, she's finally allowed to speak in the ring and have a decent story. This is the only reason why Becky brings the best in others. Let Lyra do the same with Dakota, Liv, Roxanne. It will probably be better than the Becky feud. So, okay. I do think, though, I mean, it might be better than a Becky feud, but it is obviously a big win on her record if she beats Becky. Anthony said it's kind of odd the main focus tonight was Sami taking Seth's offer, and it had no title tied to it. It's like titles have no value nowadays. I just think this Seth group is a big, big deal, to be honest. But yeah, I suppose when we were pushing the bloodline, Roman had the belt. So I suppose it is a little strange. But Seth's adamant that he is the right thing for the future of WWE. And I think that we will see him on a journey now. So we're kind of starting this journey at a slightly different point to where the bloodline story began. Sort of like Roman came back in 2020, got that title pretty much straight away. And then we did the whole bloodline story after he was champion. This one was starting in a slightly different place. Anthony said it's kind of odd, the main focus. Oh, we read that one. Taker1990 said Raw was an 8. Having NXT on Raw was awesome. Master Taker gives it 7.5. Notorious TLJ said, all I have to say is the way that Bron's music hit perfectly after Sami refused to go to SmackDown was peak cinema, said Notorious TLJ. Oh, yes. DC Overlord said, my score for Monday Night Raw is an 8. Okay, and I think we might have had some quoted tweets. Just the one. Our final one. I'm so pleased we managed to get through all of those. I didn't know that we would. We had about 40-odd responses. That's normally a little bit more than we can get through, but check us out. We did it. Blizzard6 said it was okay until a commentator decided to challenge Gunther to a match. I know a lot of people like Pat, but he should stay on the headset, or maybe not even there, and not get involved with the wrestlers. I was also hoping that Sami would have joined Seth. Blizzard6, shout out to you, my friends. Well, there we go. Those were people's thoughts. Let me just refresh the score. 42 votes. 10% said it was bad. 31% said it was great. But 60% have said it was good. This was good. Okay. And 0 gave it all time. So this looks like it is very much going to be scored as a good episode of Monday Night Raw. So there we go. The people have spoken. Thanks a lot for the feedback. Appreciate it. It's good to kind of get an idea as to where people are and what people thought. I think this was a very average to good episode. I don't see a reason why we can't be churning out episodes like this on a regular basis. Hopefully even better. Sadly, at times, I fear we may even get a little worse. But I think it gives you an idea as to where we're going. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it as always. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.